people could afford a house in San Diego. No, San Diego real estate, we don't need to tell you, it is very pricey. Joining us right now, the No Bull agent, Ken Kaplan, about what's better. A lot of people wonder, is it better to rent? Is it better to buy? Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, what is the answer? I mean, how do you figure that out? Because there's a lot of calculating that goes into that.
First off, if you're not going to be in the home for longer than a 3 or a 5 year period, the question is really, does it make sense to buy? Do you have enough time to ride that market out if it goes up or if it goes down into the tank? That's really important.
Yeah.
The other part is rent versus buy. If you're just moving to San Diego, does it make more sense to buy someplace in an area you don't even know?
Exactly.
Why not try out, test drive a neighborhood if you can for 6 months, just to make sure? You can always look and make offers and do things like that while you're renting.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just know the pros and cons of that, but know the neighborhoods, and it gives you a chance to do that when you rent.
It seems every year we're talking about somebody does a survey or somebody does a study of how expensive it is to live here, to buy a home here. The affordability rate for San Diego, where exactly do we rank? I know we're up there with like the Manhattans, the San Franciscos, and everything.
It's crazy to think that. You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy to think that it's that way. And Realtor.com just came out saying that San Diego is one of the least affordable cities to live in.
Right.
We know that. We see what rents are doing. We see what the vacancy rates are. The vacancy rates are low. Rents seem to be getting up there again. And it's gotten to a point now where the interest rates that are so low that have been driving people to the market to buy, they're great, but boy, the options of renting have become not so promising, because you've got to move so far out to be able to afford something.
And a lot of people take that option as well. The advantages and the disadvantages of both. Kind of to put it plainly, maybe the top 2 or 3 for both.
Top one to buy, tax write-off.
Yep.
I mean, primary residence, tax write-off. Think about that. You know, you go to your tax person. I can't give any tax advice, but the figures that I have heard are that 90% of what you're paying on a monthly basis on a 30-year fixed note are going to be tax deductible. That's what I've heard. Those are the numbers I've heard thrown around. If that is true, I mean, think about how much money every year you're able to write off. The other part is, you know, the equity and appreciation, but that should be viewed as long-term. And this should be looked at as an investment when you're buying, as opposed to just, oh gosh, I love this house. It's great, but do I love this house enough that in the market, you know, the event the market falls, I'm okay with it and I don't mind taking a loss?
And you mentioned about the rental market. There's a lot of vacancy. There aren't a lot of vacancies.
You know what?
Because in San Diego, a lot of them are taken up.
Vacancy rates appear to be down.
Right.
Rents appear to be going up because of what you see. The hardest part is that it's hard to track on the multiple listing system. And the reason it's hard to track is that a lot of landlords are putting their properties on the market on Craigslist because, you know what, why hire an agent when you can put it on Craigslist? The negative part to that is as a renter, you're going on there, you're going, how do I know to make sure that the property owner who I'm talking to is actually the person who owns the property? How do I know that they're not in foreclosure? How do I know I'm not going to be getting notices on the door the minute I move in stating, hey, there's a notice of default because this guy hasn't paid his mortgage or he hasn't paid his HOA fees? These are really important things to look at. So do a good, clean title search, or at least a preliminary title search on it to make sure that the property is clean and you're not going to have any issues. As a renter, you should investigate the landlord.
A lot of people, when they're trying to make the decision, do I buy, do I rent, they say, well, sometimes the rent will be the same as your mortgage, but it comes down to where do I get the money for that down payment?
Absolutely.
That's the problem for a lot of folks. How do you help with that?
Loan-wise, I mean, there's so much more flexibility now. And with these FHA loans and these government-backed loans, you know, there are assistance plans, there are loans that will allow you to get funds from a family member as a gift, not a loan, but a gift. So there are a lot of ways to get in. And if you're a veteran, gosh, you should be using and utilizing your benefits. You fought for this country. You deserve it. You've earned that right to have that benefit.
We're coming, I mean, it's hard to say that it's winter in San Diego when it's 88 degrees or whatever it's going to be today, but is this the time of year where it's easier to rent, easier to buy? I know we're coming up on the springtime.
Okay, summertime, you know, as we start getting into the summertime and we get closer to the summertime, typically it's a little bit more difficult to find a rental, only for the reason that, you know, it's sunny San Diego and you've got people not only in town, not only people who are coming in maybe for school, to start school in August or September, but you've also got the people who are, you know, here going, okay, I'm here because I'm on vacation. I love this place. I want to buy a place here.
Man, talk to you, and then people can figure stuff out. Ken
My
Kaplan,
pleasure.
we thank you as always. The No Bolt Agent.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. We appreciate
pleasure.
it. Chrissy, let's get it over to you.
Gentlemen, thank you. Still ahead.